Thanks for tuning in to Watchtower Deprogrammer. I'm your host, George Doggett. I've been in the business of deprogramming Jehovah's Witnesses since September 1990. In the previous video, it was explained that progressive revelation is a requisite to cult formation. Otherwise, the Bible itself would be sufficient for belief. Now, since the Bible is useless all by itself, the cult leadership becomes de facto savior. The mission of the group is to re-educate you, to inculcate you, to indoctrinate you, to submit your mind to the will and governance of organizational mind control. Their mission is to control, and your job is to submit. And they make it very easy for you. In fact, the cults will say, "We will do all of your thinking for you. Our brothers do all the research. It's nothing that you have to do. Let us spoon feed you." Progressive revelation is called New Light in the Watchtower Society. It pops up capriciously. Jehovah's Witnesses never know where or when this new light is going to pop up. Let me give you a simple example. The sect initially believed that a smallpox vaccination was a good medical practice. But that capricious new light, I'm telling you, new light in the Watchtower is something else. Listen to this. New light came in about, 1931, I guess it was. And the Watchtower suddenly had a truth that nobody in all of Christendom could see. I mean, nobody could see this, but the Watchtower did. The Watchtower governing body did. They had new light. And so they changed from believing that a smallpox vaccination was good medical practice over to publishing, stating, and making their members believe that a smallpox vaccination was the machination, the work of no less than Satan the devil himself. They published this in their Watchtower material, and we do not know how many people New Light murdered. I'm telling you guys, Watchtower New Light can kill you. And the society, as I said, has never released the statistics on how many men, women, and children died of the very painful, the very nasty, the very awful disease of smallpox, simply because New Light, capricious as it is, said that it was not a thing that Jehovah's Witnesses could participate in. With a sleight of hand that would do justice to any magician, the Watchtower governing body can take a teaching, and they don't use abracadabra, but with a magical, mystical word, Jehovah, it instantly disappears. That teaching is gone forever. Or with same magic trick, they can make that teaching reappear on demand. Now, in the last lesson, we were talking about how we would ask the Jehovah's Witness this question. In your opinion, is New Light reliable? Has it ever resulted, let's say, in a disaster? You see, in my church or in my belief system, I've just never had the phenomenon of New Light. And before I start believing in it, I simply want to know that it's trustworthy. Could you help me with that? And let the Jehovah's Witness answer. Take as long as he wants. Now, you'll take a yellow pad and a marker, and you'll write his answer down. You'll let him see you writing his answer down. And no doubt he will say that New Light is always good, it's always reliable, and it's always trustworthy. The Jehovah's Witness cult member is depending upon your ignorance. Then ask, is it, in your opinion, ever possible for New Light to misrepresent Bible truth, do you think? because you want him to fully commit to the idea that New Light is absolutely truthful and a reliable thing. The programmer wants to allow the witness to fully stand for or against New Light, all the while in the back of his mind he's thinking, what fellowship does light have with darkness? Now, once the cult member has fully stated his case, you've fully written it down on a piece of paper, such as a yellow pad, you can proceed. The deprogrammer continues. So if New Light came to you, for example, that insulin would be a violation of God's law, would your belief in New Light lead you to no longer take insulin, even if it meant your death? Now, I know I'm using a hypothetical here. I'm just trying to get the sense of this New Light and how binding it should be. Would you preserve your life by continuing to take insulin, or would you obey the teaching of New Light that said insulin was, for instance, something that was invented by Satan, the devil? Can you help me with this part of your belief system? Because I'm trying to put all of this together. Now, while the witness is explaining that, the deprogrammer will have already loaded up his cell phone to jw.org, or he will have gone to Watchtower Publications online, and he will have looked something up that he will read to the witness in just a moment. So say I trust, after he has made his explanation, and you've found your quotation on jw.org, you're going to say something like, I guess your trust in New Light is kind of disturbing to me. You know why? Because the Watchtower used to believe that smallpox vaccinations were an acceptable medical practice. But according to jw.org, or whatever site that you've got, Jehovah's Witnesses received New Light that prohibited them from having a smallpox vaccination. And this was published as a ruling in the Watchtower Society. Now, let me show you this quotation from jw.org, Watchtower Quotations Online, Jehovah's Witnesses plus vaccinations, anywhere that you can get it. You'll find hundreds of these vaccines. You'll find at least several of these vaccination prohibitions from the society. Quote, vaccination is a direct violation of the everlasting covenant that God made with Noah after the flood. Golden Age, February 4th, 1931, page 293, published by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you might say, but first, you accepted smallpox vaccinations, but you got New Light in 1931 that said smallpox vaccination is a direct violation, and it would be an everlasting rule. Moreover, as I search this New Light vaccination matter, Mr. Witness, I don't see where the Watchtower has ever released the statistics on how many people were murdered by this New Light teaching. Do you know how many people, men, women, and children, were murdered by the New Light teaching that smallpox vaccinations were an evil? And then, if you can, very quickly, or take another phone and turn to WebMD and read and let them see the conditions of smallpox. You know, what are the effects of smallpox? What does it feel like to die from smallpox? And let them see it. And while they're looking at the pictures and reading it on WebMD, you know that you are doing something good because you are reaching them with a shock value. Their organization murdered people using New Light, and they have never come to terms with it. Continue reading from the Watchtower Society site. Vaccination, quote, vaccination has never prevented anything and never will, and it is the most barbarous practice We are in the last days, the Watchtower declared, blah, 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 blah. And as regarding the devil, it says, quote, to his credit, such evils as smallpox vaccination can be placed. Golden Age, October 12, 1921, page 17. Look it up. The witness might object, well, we don't teach that anymore. Well, I'm confused. You didn't teach it to begin with. And then New Light said that smallpox vaccinations were wrong. It was an everlasting wrong, that it was never going to be changed, and that the whole credit for a smallpox vaccination could be placed squarely at the foot of Satan the devil. And you don't believe that? What happened to your New Light, man? I wrote this down on a piece of paper. You just told me that New Light was reliable. Now, Mr. Witness, if you don't believe your own New Light, why should I? Why should I? People, I want everybody to do your research. Don't spoon feed you here. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, you're going to have to learn how to feed yourself. You get on your computer, you get on your phone right now, and you look up, you Google Jehovah's Witnesses vaccination. You hear me? Jehovah's Witnesses vaccination. As I conclude tonight, I submit that the Watchtower teaching of New Light is not reliable. It is not trustworthy. Jehovah's Witnesses initially took smallpox vaccinations, but New Light caused them to murder their innocent children and their believing members. And the Watchtower Society has never released the morbidity statistics nor the mortality statistics from obeying Watchtower New Light. Now, later, this New Light was replaced with other New Light that went back to the original teaching that says smallpox vaccinations are okay, and today every Jehovah's Witness has a smallpox vaccination. The moral lesson of all of this is, don't trust New Light. It can kill you. Please tune in next time. This is George Doggett, Watchtower Deprogrammer.